Hello and welcome to The Positive Principle. My name is Max Ryan, and you have connected with The Positive Principle, where we teach you positive principles to help you shift your life for the better. We believe here that coaching and teaching and training and spiritual work can change your life if you know the tools. And we call those tools positive principles. And this is the second incarnation of the show. Our first 8 weeks of the show, we had 4 different people that we helped and we coached to their success, and they're all on their way. And we are going to have a reunion show with them very soon. But please sit back, welcome. We are going to talk about the power of prayer today. Are you someone that prays? Do you believe in prayer? Do you think that it's a bunch of bull, whatever it is for you? We are going to talk about prayer. We have your questions, we have your comments, and I can't do this alone. Like I said, my name is Max Ryan, but my colleague and very good friend, the incredible intuitive and teacher Polly Wyram, is here with me. Hey, Polly. Oh, I can't hear you. I'm going to take these out, just so you know, because I can't hear you. Okay, can you talk a little bit? Wow, I can't hear you at all. Polly, can you take your things out? Take these out. Unplug them. Oh, I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Yes? I can't hear you. Okay. I don't know why I can't hear you right now. Mine is unplugged. So how crazy is that? Your computer muted you because you can hear me, right? Do this if you can hear me. Okay. Can you mess around with your computer a little bit and see about are you muted on the top there? The little microphone on the top? No? How? Okay. This is live television, everyone. The reason I know that you can't hear, that people probably can't hear you, is because your name's not, your picture's not popping up. So, Polly, are you going to log off and then log back on? And I will keep talking. I'm going to talk right now. I know what we can do. While Polly comes back on, I am going to read a card. I'm going to read a card. I'm going to pull out a card and read it for all of us. We're going to talk about the power of prayer. And if you just joined us, Polly, my co-host, will be right back. She had a little technical difficulties, but she's going to try to log on right now. And I decided that, you know what? I'm going to read a card for us. So let me get my cards. Hold on one second. All right, let's do this. Oh, let's do these cards. Okay. We're going to read a little card. And I always believe that when you read a card on a show like this that's general, this card is for everyone here. I believe that spirit, God, peanut butter in the sky, whatever you want to call the force of nature, of love, it will speak through any venue, any medium that it has, and the cards are one way to do it. These cards are actually from my Oracle card deck. They're the Say Yes If. Here, I'll just show you this. Say Yes If Oracle cards that go along with my book. So let's just pull a card from this and see what it has to say. So everyone take a big deep breath. Okay. Let me pull a card. See what it is. Wow. Okay. This is the card. Polly will love this. Say yes if today You will listen to what your family and friends in spirit are telling you. They know. This card, and I'll just show it to you if you can see it. Reflection there, too hard to see. Say yes if today you will listen to your family and friends who are in spirit, are what they are telling you, because they know. You know, this is so important for you. It's important for all of us to realize that when we lose this body, when we go to the next, whatever it happens to be, many people have a lot of different names for it. I just say, you know, it's your transition, you're graduating to go on to your next step. When we do that, we are non-local. And, you know, the anniversary of my near-death experience, 2-year anniversary, wow, is coming up. And I died and I came back. And I knew when I was willing to let go of the body, and I let go of the body, I knew I was basically what I say non-local. I was everywhere and nowhere at the same time. Polly, you there? You're back. Yay. Awesome. I'm reading a card, Polly, and you're going to love this.
Awesome.
I decided to read a card. So I'm going to keep going. We'll get on with the show in just a second. So here's the deal. When I died and I came back, I realized I was non-local. So I realized without my body, I was still around. Everything was, I mean, I was happy. It was all about love. It was all about peace. It was all about joy when I left my body and then I came back. Now, your loved ones, your family, your grandmother, your friends, your mother, your father, anyone who you loved, I want you to now think about them and think about what they would be telling you about your life. Because when we move out of the body, we have a very clear perspective, and it's always helping. It's all about helping and guiding. We have help and guidance all around us in the form of energy, of spirits and thoughts, and our loved ones are helping us. So think about someone right now and think about what they would tell you about your life right now. What would they tell you about your career? What would they tell you about your relationship or relationships or possible relationships? What would they tell you about how you're treating yourself? This is really important, and it's very deep because they will speak through your feelings. So if you think about your grandmother right now, you think about other people right now, you say, oh, she would say, you know what, leave the job. She would say, stay with the guy. She would say, you need to go do the, you know, be the actor on the stage that you want to do, whatever it happens to be. They have a perspective. They know, you know, those energies know what's going to help us to be more happy and more peaceful in our life. So I'm going to say it again. Say yes if you will listen to what your family and friends who are in spirit are telling you, because they know. This week, I want you to think about that and think about, what would your grandmother say? What would your parents say about your job or about anything? And then feel them and ask them what they think you should do or not do. Okay? All right. All right. Welcome back, Polly.
Thank you. I love that advice, Max, because just in general, how many times have we talked about it's important to connect with how you feel? So in all areas of your life, and this week we're talking about prayer, connecting with how you feel is so important.
Yeah, it sure is. It sure is. So, yeah, that's a beautiful, and let me just say this. When Polly and I are doing this incredible, I was going to save it to the end, but I picked this card. We're doing a 5-day event in Anchorage, which we're so excited about. And we are actually going to teach people in our gallery readings the Thursday night before, teach people how to listen to their loved ones and the message that they're giving them. It's going to be a lot of fun. Right, Polly?
It is. And I think, you know, because you and I talk about a lot about life and spirituality, and I think, you know, what I really want to talk about is helping people bring peace into their life and live in peace and live in ease. And a big part of that is prayer, and it's connecting to that feeling and being able to bring it with you. Mm-hmm. And, you know, and we talked about, wow, that's, you know, how do you teach people that? And we talked about that this afternoon because it's a big deal.
Right. Right. It's a big deal.
So you and I will share more of what we came up with, but it's not, it's like I likened it to handing somebody a book in a different language and saying, read this. Because if you haven't figured out how to connect with prayer or connect, with meditation and that feeling, it's almost like a foreign language.
Yeah.
And so asking somebody to invite prayer into their life is, it can be a daunting thing.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And, it's sort of like, but on the other hand, I'm sure that you agree with this, Polly, is that prayer, what our spirit and who we are is our most essential relationship of what we are to ourselves, to God, to the world. It's our most essential self, but we forget how to do that in this world, and our ego doesn't help us to keep developing that. It covers that relationship up over and over and over, so that we lose the touch or the connection, right?
Yes. And
we never really lose it. Sorry, I just wanted to say that.
No. And I was thinking about this earlier. So we have, we are having this human experience where we through touch and through just, paying bills, blah, blah, blah. That's the human experience where we need shelter, we need food, we need oxygen. But inside of us, greater than the human experience is our spirit, right? And that spirit is always connected to source. And so it is remembering that. And so it's almost moving past the human experience that we all have and connecting to that greater self, that greater source.
Definitely. And that can be difficult. And that's why we wanted to talk about prayer and what it is. And before we move into it a little bit more, because we're about 11 minutes in, we've got some really awesome comments this week and awesome experiences about prayer. Before we do that, let's just quickly say where we're from and what we do. Why don't you tell everyone what you do and what your website is and that stuff?
Perfect. So my name is Polly Wire, and my website is Gateways 2 Peace, and that's the number 2. I'm an intuitive. I do coaching. I'm actually just starting to share. I get a lot of messages with meditation, and I'm just starting to share those more because I think that they're important messages that help everybody bring more peace into their life. And Max has been fabulous in helping me, I guess, get the courage to do more of that. And so I really appreciate that. And we together are going to have a workshop in Anchorage, Alaska at the end of June that I'm really excited about.
Really excited about. We're going to have a lot of fun. Yeah, gateways2peace.com. Go check her out and what she offers. Polly is, I don't work with very many people, and I really love working with Polly. She's the real deal, as I say. And just so you know a little bit about me, I am the creator and founder of attractpositiveresults.com, where I help people to move in their life from an orientation of overwhelm, disappointment, fear, and anxiety to association in their life to flow and joy and love and attracting positive results. I am a 30-year teacher and student of A Course in Miracles, and I also rely heavily on teaching people really how to use the law of attraction. And I work with groups, I work with individuals, I do webinars, I do all of that stuff. And it is my passion to help you to live a life that you feel amazing about. And I'm a certified coach. And this show is kind of all based on coaching techniques, spiritual coaching techniques. And I just love being here. It's great. So let me just tell you, as far as prayer goes, I'll say this before we get to our questions and comments from you, the audience. I follow A Course in Miracles. I've been a student of A Course in Miracles and a teacher for so long, like I just said. And one thing A Course in Miracles says is prayer is the medium of miracles, meaning that prayer, when we pray, that is the energetic place where miracles can occur. which I think that we all get that, first of all. The second thing I want to say is that the Course in Miracles also defines, well, there's 50 definitions for miracles, but it says that a miracle is a shift in your perception, okay? So if prayer is a medium for miracles and miracles are a shift in your perception, what prayer does is it shifts your perception so you can have a miracle. And I think that that's really, I know that that might sound a little bit, you might have to rewind that for a second, but ultimately, prayer to me is getting out of our ego selves, out of our controlling selves, out of the place that we know, out of that place and connecting with the flow. And the flow is always for your own good. It's always for your highest good. And it always is kind of guiding you, but your ego might be like, not that, not that. But as you pray more, and we're going to talk about different kinds of prayer, you really do start to, if you start to rely on prayer like I do, I pray in the morning, I'm praying all day long. You start to get what they mean by saying pray unceasingly. Just unceasingly stay in that state of prayer, in that state of like, show me, show me, show me. So that's what I wanted to say about prayer right off the top. And, you know, we talked a little bit more about, do you want to say any more about prayer, Polly?
Yeah. So, Max, being the brilliant teacher that he is, he breaks everything down into wonderful details. And I am much more like, I always tell people, feel, go with the way you feel. And I don't break it down into so many details, but the flow, it's feeling, okay, number one, it's knowing, and you just have to have this sense of knowing. And that's the thing that we can't really teach. It's having that sense of knowing, and knowing, you know, connecting with it daily. It becomes your companion. Mm-hmm. Like Max said, it becomes your companion, your constant companion. And certainly sometimes you take the time and you're only with that companion, and you really get that feeling. And that is what we can teach you, to recognize that feeling, and recognize that feeling in other times, because that is the key. Yeah, for sure.
I agree. And I might break things down a lot, but I also agree with your feelings are kind of your meter reader. It's like your feelings will tell you this feels good, this feels good. Keep going in that direction. Your feelings will help you. This feels bad, don't do it. Don't go there. Don't go there. You know, it's not going to be good. So I think it's great. So listen, I realized in all of our our starting off with the craziness, we never said a prayer. So I think that we should say a prayer right now. So let's just close our eyes right now. And everyone take a deep breath. Dear Mother, Father, God, Divine Source, Universe, all that is, we come together today with open hearts, open minds, and an open spirit. We allow today to be a time of love, a time of guidance and support for everyone here. We ask that this time be spent in the highest order of vibration, and some people call that vibration love. And we take a deep breath, and we say thank you very much, and so it is. Okay. All right. So I love prayer. I mean, if you're sitting there and really connecting with prayer, it does shift your vibration. It makes you feel differently. And that's just an example of a prayer. You know, I say prayers all the time. That's just an example. Polly, do you want to share one of what the viewers' comments or what they have to say about prayer first? Yeah. And then I'll follow you.
So we received this comment in regards to does prayer enhance your life? And the response was, that would be a big no from me. Big area, or big anger area at this moment for me about prayer. Begged and cried on my knees in prayer. Zilch. Don't really have much belief in it personally. really angry right now and feeling hopeless because of the lack of response in prayer. That's really powerful, really strong. So Max, what's your first comment? And then I'll share my comment.
Well, first of all, it calls to me like I want to say a prayer for this person, actually. My heart, and this comes back to what you're saying, my heart and the feelings make me go, oh, this person needs some help. This person needs guidance. This person needs love. This person needs something. So that's my first response to that. And I think that if, you know, everyone here and listening probably felt the same thing. But it's understandable. It is completely understandable. Many times we are praying and praying and praying for a certain result or a certain thing or a certain outcome, and we're not seeing it, we're not getting it, and it makes us lose all hope. And that's real. That is real, and everyone goes through it at a certain point in their life. But I do want to say that from what I have studied for many years, and myself included, that's actually not prayer. That's actually desperation of the ego, probably speaking, on some level, because it's wanting something to be a certain way, and because it's not a certain way, we don't believe that God or the universe or whatever is showing it to us. And it's not to slam this person at all. We all do it. That desperation, controlling prayer. I need it to be a certain way, because if it's not a certain way, I'm not going to feel peace. If it's not a certain way, I'm not going to feel happy. And, you know, that is so common. I've done it. Polly, have you done that before?
Of course.
Of course. We've all done it. But we also have to know, if we really do want to really walk a spiritual path, a mystical path actually, is that ultimately true prayer is this communication with Source, not asking it to give us a certain thing that we think that we want, but instead having this dialogue with Source that feels good. Hey, this feels good. I have gratitude, I have appreciation. I'd love to have that. I wouldn't, and if I really do need help, please ask me for help or relief, but I don't know what form that's coming in. And that, I mean, that's what I would have to say for that. First off, what about you, Paula?
Well, I'd like us all to send love to that person for sure. Yeah. And then my thought brings me back to somebody that I was having a session with this morning, and she said that she read something. I think that maybe you posted, one of us posted, about how prayer sometimes isn't that, you know, we think God isn't listening because the answer doesn't come exactly how we want it. But she gave an example of how she was in a marriage, and she's like, you know, please make so-and-so be good now. Please make, you know, bring peace into our life, whatever. And so she was thinking, you know, the marriage would become stable and everybody would be happy. And she said, you know, when she left that marriage, then she realized her prayers had been answered. She differently than she anticipated, but all of a sudden she had this peace. And so it's recognizing that prayers don't always come, you know, they're not always answered exactly how we want, you know, how we expect, I guess is the right word.
Yeah,
right.
I agree. I also just had a thought right now, is that, you know, when you're talking about like levels of reality in the mind and everything, is that, you know, the mind will say, I want this, I want this, I want this. But spirit is actually going, if you get that, you're not going to be happy. If you have that, it's not going to be in your highest good. It's not going to be right. But your mind and your ego, what the Course in Miracles would say, your ego is saying, of course that's going to make me happy. And then we don't get it, because actually on the other level, it's not like God or whatever is going, well, you shouldn't get that. It's more like deep inside of us, we know, you know what? That's actually not going to make us happy. And that's why it's not happening. Does that make sense?
Well, it does. And it really, I mean, we could go so deep with this. But,
I know.
But the bottom line is that it's when you have prayer and you have peace in your life, you do not attach yourself to all this other outside stuff. And I say that, and I have to, I have to remind people, yes, I've got 3 kids, I've got, blah, blah, blah. So I have to consciously practice that, right? Mm-hmm. Am I perfect? No. Do I swear? Sometimes, right?
Yes.
But it's recognizing that's how you get the peace, is you don't attach to, these outcomes. You don't, and that's not saying that we don't want certain things.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Does that make sense?
It's a different place to be praying. I've said this before, pray out of expectation instead of desperation. It's a very different thing to be praying from a place of, I know everything's perfect. I know everything's working out for its best. Everything is great. If you're praying from that place, it's a completely different place than praying from, oh my God, I got to get the job. And if I don't get the job, then and everything. That's a completely different vibrational place. It is insane. And there's no love in that place. There's no love in that place. But if you can, and we talked about this today, Polly, and I said one of the reasons you're able to do it is that you do something every day that helps you to stay in that place.
Yes.
So you're not in the desperate place. What is it that you do?
I do both. I pray and meditate. Yes. And for me, I have to be honest, and I've talked about this before, that there's no right way or wrong way. For me, prayer and meditation are kind of blended together, but I am like Max. I have my routine in the morning, if you want to call it a routine, but that's the first thing I do. And I do it different times during the day also, where I take the time, and that's what I'm doing. But I very much am praying throughout the day.
Yeah, I agree. And that's when it comes down to understand what all the great sages say, pray unceasingly. You just keep staying in the place of prayer. And the Course of Miracles would say is that that's what you're meant to be doing. You're meant to be staying in that vibrational place. And that's where we feel good. We feel peaceful. We feel joyful. Life is happening, but at the same time life is happening on the outside, we still feel connected. Hey, we have 3 minutes. And we've gone through one thing. I want to just read something to you. So I loved starting off with that because I think that was a really poignant example of what a lot of people feel in this moment. So everyone listening, please say a prayer and at the end, we're going to wrap up with the prayer. But I want to say this. From the other side, someone from New York said, my experience is prayer always works. I pray as soon as I open my eyes and throughout the day. I find that taking the time to pause and connect with prayer shifts my thinking and it shifts my vibration. Always to be more positive and calmer and in the state of being. So great. That's so great. And you know what? She says prayer works, prayer works, prayer works. So I'll read one more thing from somebody else on Instagram, actually. Excuse me. Prayers are essential. It works if it's supposed to. And sometimes, I love this comment, sometimes it may give something else when we expected something else. But it can be miraculous in small or large portions. What I love what she's saying is that, sometimes it gives you something else in a different proportion. So we have to let go of, and she's addressing this thing of having a certain form. Let go of the form, the trust that everything is always going to work out. So, and she ends up saying, give and receive, give and receive, give and receive. And I think that that's really true with prayer too, because most of us only use prayer. Not me, but most people are only using prayer when they want to receive, not when they're just having communication with Source. So use prayer all the time, and it will be a natural part of what you do and who you are and how exchange of energies between you and Source and you and other people. Right, Polly?
I love that. Yeah. Absolutely.
Me too.
So when we end, I want to give a prayer of gratitude this evening. I'd like to close on that.
All right. Well, why don't we do that? Why don't we do the prayer of gratitude? Do you want to do that first, or do you want to talk about, how people can get in contact with us and next week's show? Do you want to do that first? Or
we'll finish with the prayer of gratitude.
At the very, very, very end?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So listen, the time flies by, and thank you all so much. You know, this is the Positive Principle, and we decided that we were going to use different topics each week. And I love prayer, and I love the power of prayer. And I do know that all of you out there have a lot of, you know, anxiety. You have a lot of stress. You have a lot of fear in your life. And just use prayer. And if anything, I've got a list of, and if you go actually to the Magic of Life show on Empower Radio. And actually, you know what? Please put your comments below here. Make sure that you do that about what your experience with prayer is or what you thought of the show. And I will put the link, because I wanted to go through, there's like 6 or 7 different types of prayer that kind of delineate it. So I just want to thank you so much. And next week, we're going to have a whole new topic. And that topic is, what are you attracting in your life, either good or bad? What are you attracting to your life, either good or bad? So it's all about the law of attraction next week. And so next week, it's going to be just me here because, Polly, you're going to be doing something, right?
I am. I have attracted, so I was raised in California. And so I've attracted a fabulous opportunity to go spend some time on a river in California and see friends, and of course find my favorite place in California, which I don't know where it is yet, but I know I'm attracting it. So I'll be traveling for a little while.
Great. So Polly will be out next week, and then I will be here. So please, I will set up a whole page for you here on the positiveresultshow.com, and please put your comments, questions about law of attraction. Now, if you want to know more about law of attraction, it's one of my specialties that I teach people about. You can go to attractpositiveresults.com and you sign up on the sign-in form, and you will get 5 free law of attraction videos that are really good, I have to say, where I teach you. They're about 10 to 15-minute videos. Some are a little bit shorter, but they teach you all about law of attraction, and they're just my gift to you. So please do that at attractpositiveresults.com. And what do you want to say? Anything more before we do the prayer?
I would love people, if they're traveling to Alaska or live in Alaska, come check out our workshop that's going to be at the end of June, starting on June 25th. And we've got tons of stuff going on. We've got like an intuitive fair. We have guest speakers. And so that's happening June 25th through the 29th. And it includes a hike.
Yeah, beautiful hike in Alaska. I'm excited about that. I'm going to be doing 2 workshops, one all about angels and the other all about law of attraction. And what is the big one that you're doing, Polly?
Mine is really about living in peace. And so we touched on that today, but it's so important to me. And there's so many things that I feel like you can bring into your life. And honestly, because it changed my life, I really want to share it with others.
I love it. That's great. Good. All right. So we're going to close with this beautiful prayer from Polly. And until then, I always say that I pray that love will guide you. And I will be back next week. Please send your comments or questions about the law of attraction at thepositiveprincipleshow.com. It's all yours, Polly.
Thank you. So I would like to take this time for us to connect with a higher source, connect to angels, connect to God, connect to whatever being of light that guides you through your day. And we are going to put in this circle in this time anybody that you feel needs some healing, needs just some extra touch, some gentleness, including ourselves. So we're sending love to ourselves and beyond. I would like to thank Source for this opportunity of this fabulous show with Max, and the opportunity to share the concept of prayer and the concept of gratitude, because I know that as we work with it, it goes much farther and beyond, and it's helping really create a beautiful conscious, a beautiful change, and that just goes deeper and deeper throughout our universe. And I would like to thank everybody with gratitude for being here and for taking the time for themselves and for others. And may we all go in peace. Thank you.
Thank you.
So it is.
And so it is. We will see you next week, everyone. Good night.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.